I remember a few years ago when they announced Shadow of Mordor, and it blew me away because I could not believe that they were going to make another game set in this amazing world that I'd come to love growing up with the movies and seeing them in theaters when they came out. And I just remember thinking, please God, let this game be good so that it can be brought to the gaming forefront and we'll see more games set in Middle-earth. And it was very good. It was actually the most critically acclaimed Lord of the Rings base game of all time, and it warranted a sequel that I also loved. I played Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War to death, but a lot of people don't know, and if you are fans of those games, or fans of Lord of the Rings in general, they weren't the first good Lord of the Rings games. As the immensely popular movies were being released, EA was making games for basically every kind of gamer. They were making action-adventure games, they were making real-time strategies, they were making RPGs, and they were making them very, very well. Surprisingly well, since a lot of these games were directly based on the movies. And as we all know, games based on movies generally aren't that good. But these games were very, very good. For the most part, they really captured the essence of what made those movies so fun and enjoyable. And that's a lot to say for games that were coming out in 2001, 2002, 2003, and can really show that with a franchise like this, you can make games with these characters and these stories and that work in all different kinds of genres. And with this video, the main thing I wanted to talk about is, since the Xbox One has backwards compatibility with the Xbox 360 and the original Xbox, why aren't we seeing more Lord of the Rings games backwards compatible from those systems? Because there are tons of really good ones in all kinds of gaming genres, and I think with the immense popularity of the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War games, then this is the perfect time to bring these games back to the forefront so that new gamers can try them out for the first time, or veterans like me can go back and enjoy them all over again.
Marched against the armies of Mordor, and on the slopes of Mount Doom they fought for the freedom of Middle-earth.
Some of the better action-adventure games that were released were actually the direct movie tie-in games for both The Two Towers and The Return of the King. And if you were playing these games as the movies were going into theaters, basically everybody thought these games were the shit, but pretty much they were hack-and-slash games where you would go through levels playing as different characters that all had their own individual movesets and unique playstyle, which was really nice because it added a lot of replay value to the game. You could go back and replay missions as different characters that had completely unique playstyles and leveled up individually. They don't really make a whole lot of games like this anymore, but these games were fantastic. They released on the original Xbox, so if Xbox One would make them backwards compatible, then people that have never played these games that love these movies could actually go back and play the official games based on these movies. And hell, I mean, I would even go back and play through them again if I could play them on Xbox One. Even if you're a fan of role-playing games, they made a fantastic turn-based RPG that was very reminiscent of the Final Fantasy games, and it was fantastic. It told a brand new story with new characters. It basically followed the plot of the movies, and you'd actually meet some of the characters from the movies. It was a very good RPG that, if you are a fan of like the new South Park games like The Stick of Truth, it is that same kind of gameplay loop, and it was playable on the original Xbox. So just like the official movie tie-in games, this game could become backwards compatible on Xbox One and can be enjoyed by role-playing game fans that have never played this game before on their system. And I think with an RPG as good as this, it deserves it. And last but not least, my personal favorite Lord of the Rings base games are the Battle for Middle-earth 1 and 2. These are fantastic real-time strategy games that when they first came out completely blew me away, and I still occasionally play them from time to time on PC because I enjoy them that much. And a lot of people actually don't know this, but the Battle for Middle-earth 2 was actually an Xbox 360 game as well. And that's really incredible because generally when you think of real-time strategy games, you don't think about them working on console because you need a keyboard and mouse to control and play those games the way they are intended. But Battle for Middle-earth 2 on 360 did it. They mapped the controls to the controller very well. And generally when people think of a good real-time strategy game on console, they think of Halo Wars 1 and Halo Wars 2. But Battle for Middle-earth 2 did it before them. It was a very good real-time strategy game on the console. And if you are a fan of real-time strategy games and you play on consoles, your options are so limited. And to know that there is a Lord of the Rings based real-time strategy game that could be backwards compatible, it just makes you wonder, why isn't this game backwards compatible? Because your options are so limited that you could have this amazing franchise and have a game and a genre that's so just basically empty on consoles and you could have it and play on Xbox One. I think if this game went backwards compatible, people that love real-time strategies would just flock to it because it's an amazing franchise, it's an amazing genre, and I would love to see it more fleshed out on consoles in the future, and I think this game should definitely not be left out. So yeah, guys, I absolutely love the Lord of the Rings. I love the entire franchise. I mean, I actually have Lord of the Rings action figures hanging up on my walls in the boxes. I love the franchise and I love the games. I think they're some of the best movie tie-in games that we've ever had, and so many people haven't gotten a chance to play these games, and I would love to see them become backwards compatible on Xbox One. I mean, it's not like I'm waiting or anything, but I would love to see these games come back into the forefront, and I hope with the popularity of games like Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War that enough people will want to see these games come back, and EA will allow them to come backwards compatible so people can enjoy them for the first time, or people like me can go back and play through them again, because I know I'd love to. But guys, that's all I have for today. If you like this video, be sure to like it. I do make new videos every week, so be sure to subscribe. And if you know anybody that's a Lord of the Rings fan that loves the old games or hasn't played them before, be sure to share this video with them, and I will catch you guys on the next one. See ya.